Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on GTA 5 with a kind of a little bit of a failed challenge this one. It was a good idea in practice, things didn't quite work very well. Husky is piloting the helicopter. We were going to use the helicopter footage. Unfortunately it's not particularly good, it's a little bit wobbly. Also there have been some issues with Husky's computer. His hard drive pretty much fried a lot of the recordings, and normally they're a little bit jumpy. On this one they are really jumpy. So yeah, things didn't quite go to plan with this video and this challenge. It was fun. It also didn't quite work. We've got all the spectators with the I just love the helicopters flying around with their cargoes underneath it. They were supposed to be the people for the next round. Things may have gone a little bit wrong when the helicopters bumped into each other, and the car that Husky was carrying may have gone for a tumble. Yeah, and exploded. So that didn't quite work. Either way, we'd had two cars at the top. We're going to do a sumo wrestling sort of championship, if you like, on this. There was 8 of us to start with. We had a few problems as well. But yeah, it's going to be a knockout sort of tournament. And the first round was over very quickly. The pink Cadillac kind of got dispatched in... I expected it to last a little bit longer. I thought it would last... the matches would be a little bit... longer than that one, but okay, the first round didn't really go to plan as such. So we got some more cars, we lined them up. This time we have a Sultan, looks very similar to my Sultan, against a Jeep Cherokee looking thing that I have no idea what the name of. The Sultan, a little bit of lag, the Sultan looked like it didn't get away very well, and then it's kind of got itself stuck. Now the Jeep just sort of sits around and gloats at it, and eventually it falls off. And a little bit more lag, and there we go. So the first 2 rounds hadn't really lasted very long. The Sultan got itself wedged right on the very edge, and in trying to get himself free, ended up falling off. I think the Jeep, I don't know what the Jeep was trying to do. One of the helicopters went to rescue the Sultan, but it fell off before it could get to it. And then I noticed two morons were standing around messing around down here, so I came up with a suitable punishment. Just lob a sticky bomb on the floor. This is how you deal with online idiots, and then you quickly run away and blow it up. The unintended side effect, I may slightly have blown up one of the cargo bobs and the car that it was trying to move off the sort of sumo ring. Yeah, that I got a quadruple kill. It wasn't intended. It was only meant to kill 2 people, so I apologise to the helicopter pilot and the car which got blown up. Move on to the 3rd round, and it was my turn to have a go, and I was up against another buggy. I went for this car because I kind of like it. Also, I thought it might be quite good at this. It's a very fast accelerating car. I went for the more tactical approach, which probably was a dumb idea in hindsight, as it seems the car that gets the fastest launch pushes the other car off quickest, if you like. I tried to go for the tactical approach, tried to kind of drive around, weave around a little bit. I was hoping to sort of goad him into making a mistake and drive off on his own. In the end, it didn't work out for me, and I ended up stuck, basically. No idea how I got how my buggy ended up sort of wedged behind a part of the bank sign. Husky was going in to try to see if he could rescue me, but you can't get a helicopter in there because I'm right behind a crane as well, just to make things worse. So yeah, I may have got the buggy completely wedged. There's nothing I could do about it, and I had no parachute on, so I was going to have to jump out and take a bit of a dive, unfortunately. But yeah, that was a bit unlucky. It's a fairly nasty death, that one as well, right on the edge of the building. So yeah, that didn't quite go to plan. Up next, for final, if you like, quarter-final, I guess, we have Husky against another one of the Bodies. I was flying around in a helicopter but didn't get very good shots. Well, I apologise for Husky's clips lagging a bit more. His computer really died on this one. Husky, driving the Phoenix, was trying his best to kind of be tactical and push the Bodie around, but it didn't last very long, and sure enough, off goes the Phoenix all the way down, tumbling, and I was waiting for it to explode. Amazingly, it didn't. I don't know how that survived, because that landed on its roof. It was so near to landing on the back of it, and that would have caused it to explode, and then Husky was stuck. So, yeah, the cars that advanced to the next round were the Jeep, 2 Bodies, and one of the buggies. Unfortunately, we had a couple of issues with people having to go and disconnecting and stuff, so I ended up being reinstated. I thought it would be interesting. We'll change vehicles around. We won't use the same vehicles again. I'll have a go with something else. So it was me driving my Rebel against one of the Bodies, slightly reworked Rebel. I managed to lose my Rebel after I spent so long finding it online. I managed to lose it. I don't know what happened to it, and then like the next sort of hour of playing, I just found one randomly, and then later on they released it as you can blooming buy it. Anyway, I tried to go for tactics on this one, and it was the quickest round so far. I tried moving my thing off the line, couldn't get it moved in time, and the Bodie just pushed me straight off, and then my car went tumbling off. I bailed out. And managed to survive this time. Wasn't in much better of a predicament though, as I was now stuck on a ledge with absolutely nowhere to go. So to the next semi-final, and we had the other of the Bodies as an Annihilator take some... I don't know why there was an Annihilator shooting, but there was. We have a Bodie against a Stinger GT. The theory behind using the Stinger is it has a very low front. You might actually be able to get underneath the other car and push it around, which is a pretty good idea actually. Husky's car had a similar sort of idea. It almost worked for the Stinger. It very nearly did. I think there's a little bit of a laggy bump as well. But either way, the Stinger had about as short a round as I did as someone goes in to see if they can rescue it. I don't think you're going to get them out of there. Yeah, the Bodies were a little bit good at this, if I'm honest. They were a little bit too good. So the final round, the Stinger managed to move a little bit away around the blooming thing. But the final is going to be between 2 of the Bodies. The one on the right is the one that dispatched me. The one on the left is the one that dispatched the Stinger. And sure enough, it didn't take particularly long for one of them to fall off the edge. Literally, it seems like this was all about the launch. If you get off the line sort of fastest, as he's trying to now run me over, so I quick better get out of the way. If you could get off the line fastest, we're like one of the pilots of the helicopter was doing the countdown. If you get off the line quickest, you could push the other guy off, and the Bodies were very, very powerful for this thing. So if you want a car that is good for one-on-one sumo wrestling matches, the Bodie is the car of choice, and for his victory I will give him a free sticky bomb. And there we go, because explosions are always a good way to end a challenge of sorts. This wasn't it. We had another idea that might be quite interesting. So we got all of the cars and brought all of the cars back to the top. As you can see throughout this, there's a few changes of day because this takes a long blooming time to set up. And we're going to have how many cars is that? 7 car sort of demolition derby massive sumo match on the top of the main bank tower. My little Bifter was rather outsized in this one. I don't know what that thing's called that I was pushing, but managed to get the better of it in the end. And then there was all sorts of chaos going on up here. The Cadillac had managed to get its way underneath the Sand King, which is quite impressive. I ended up going for Husky a little bit there, tried to push him off, didn't work. Now I've got a Landstalker coming for me, and that's not good. The Sand King's gone over the Cadillac, and the buggy is off, and there goes the Landstalker as well. The Sand King has been pushed off by the Merc, and then there were 3, and my buggy was wedged yet again. I spent so much time stuck in the buggy. I then tried to get out, hoping I could go for a good spot for filming. Apparently not, as I go tumbling off the cliff, off the building, yet again. Somebody else managed to survive and jump out of their car and was parachuting, I saw. But no, not me. So at the top, there was now only 3 cars left. Doesn't really last long for this sumo. And Husky was quickly dispatched by the Mercedes G-Wagon, or what's it called? Forgotten what the blooming thing's called now, but yeah, Husky was gone as well. There's my buggy over there spazzing out. Yeah, it didn't last particularly long, the sort of the demolition derby for most of us. However, at the top there was still 2 cars going around and around. The Cadillac, amazingly, despite being so quickly dispatched in the opening round, was now up against a Mercedes G-Wagon, and not much was happening. There was a pretty big stalemate going on between the 2 of them. Husky got out of his car, moved around a little bit, came back up to sort of this sort of viewing area, good cameraing point, and still the 2 cars danced around and trying to push each other off. Somebody picked up my buggy. I wondered how my buggy moved, because it was wedged there, and then I sort of was flying back up to the top. I noticed it had moved to another ledge, so that's where my buggy went. Somebody stole it. Either way, there was some dancing going on between the 2 cars. The Cadillac, I don't think was the best choice of vehicle for for Sumo. He just got a little bit lucky surviving the opening rounds. I think he basically was saved by being stuck underneath the Sand King as it was struggling against the Mercedes, and sure enough, the Mercedes eventually knocks the pink Cadillac off the Sumo ring. So the Mercedes wins the demolition derby round, if you like. So yeah, there we go. That's some sort of messing around on the top of the maze bank. It's a little bit fiddly to set up. Takes an awful long time to keep setting stuff up for this, and the actual Sumo bounce didn't last as long as I'd hoped. But we can come to a conclusion, and that is that the Bodhi is by far the best Sumo wrestling car that there is in the game. I think that's pretty solid advice. Also, the very high trucks aren't very good at it because they can get lifted up and pushed around a little bit. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you have challenges and things you'd like to see us do in GTA, please do let me know in the comment section. I will have a look through, and my favourites or our favourites will be in a video at some point. However, until next time, goodbye, and that's a very good way to end a blooming video.